Welcome back to the deep dive.
Today we're looking at a tank, a horse named Hokko Tarumae.
The Relentless King. That's the name that just keeps popping up in the sources. And honestly, looking at the data, it fits.
It really does.
What immediately grabbed me was the financial side of this. I mean, we are talking about a horse that never set foot on perf, not once.
Not a single time.
And yet, he retired as one of the highest earning thoroughbreds in history. How does that even happen?
That is the headline stat, right? Because in the hierarchy of racing, turf is the major leagues.
That's where all the money is.
That's where the prestige is, the astronomical purses in the Japan Cup or the Arima Kinen. So for a horse to stick only to dirt and still make over 1.1 billion yen, it's a statistical anomaly.
It's like a baseball player making the Hall of Fame without ever playing in the World Series.
That's a great way to put it. It implies a level of durability that you just don't see anymore. To make that kind of money on dirt, you can't just win one big race.
No.
You have to show up month after month, year after year, and just grind out results.
And we are going to get into the how of it all, including a very specific, somewhat viral moment involving his jockey that I know you're itching to talk about.
But we have to.
But let's rewind. The origin story here is key, because this wasn't a horse born with a silver spoon.
No, certainly not. If you look at his pedigree, you see this fascinating conflict right away. His sire, his father, was King Kamehameha.
Okay, and that's a huge name for anyone who follows this stuff.
It's royalty.
Yeah.
He's one of the two pillars of modern Japanese breeding, right alongside Deep Impact. His kids are usually very expensive, very high class.
Right, so you'd expect a massive price tag. But then you look at the dam side.
Exactly. His mother, Madame Cherokee, and her sire, Cherokee Run, they were seen as, let's say, modest.
Yeah, he's sold for 15 million yen. Now, that sounds like a lot of money to us, but in that world...
It's the bargain bin. I mean, you have other King Kamehameha colts selling for hundreds of millions.
Right.
15 million yen is the market saying, he's probably just okay.
Competent, maybe. Not a star.
Right.
And it's funny, even his name kind of reflects that working class vibe. The Hokko part comes from the owner's company.
Hokkai Dokonfin Kokyu.
Yeah, which is a construction firm up in Tomokamai.
It fits the narrative perfectly, doesn't it? A construction company's horse. It suggests heavy lifting, reliability, building something brick by brick.
And that's exactly how he ran. He wasn't built for elegance. He was built for work.
But that work did not start well.
Oh, not at all. I was looking at the chart for his debut race. It wasn't just a loss. It was like a total non-event.
It was brutal. He was the 11th favorite in the betting, and he finished 11th.
So, no surprises there.
None. The odds were massive. If you were looking at that program, you would have just said, well, the market was right. Cheap horse, cheap performance.
It really confirms that bias. You buy a budget horse, he runs a budget race. But this is where that Iron Horse story really starts to simmer. He didn't just explode onto the scene with some 10-length victory. He just chipped away at it.
That's the key thing about him. Most superstars have a wow moment early on. Tarumae didn't. It was all incremental.
So what was the first sign?
He managed a 5th place in the Japan Dirt Derby, which is a big race for 3-year-olds. That was maybe a faint signal that he had some stamina. Then he finally wins the Leopard Stakes.
His first graded win.
His first graded win. And then came the moment where people really started scratching their heads.
The Japan Cup Dirt.
The Japan Cup Dirt. Massive stage. He's a 3-year-old. He's the 9th favorite in the betting.
So a total long shot.
Nobody expects him to do anything, and he just grinds out a 3rd-place finish.
That must have been the warning shot?
It was. 3rd place against older, seasoned horses is no joke. But honestly, I don't think anyone predicted what was about to happen when he turned 4.
The golden year, this is where the rocket ship really takes off. And just reading his schedule that year, it's exhausting.
Relentless is the only word for it. He starts with the Saga Kinen, then the Nagoya Daishoten, then the Antares Stakes. And these aren't just wins.
They're dominant.
They're dominant wins across different tracks, different surfaces.
And can we just pause on that? Because I think it's easy to gloss over different tracks. In dirt racing, that's a huge factor.
Hugely different. Some tracks are deep and sandy, like running on a beach. Others are packed tight and fast. For a horse to win at Saga, then Nagoya, then Kyoto, it shows he wasn't a specialist. He could run on anything.
And then came the big one, the Kashiwa Kinen. He takes down Espor City.
Which was a massive deal. Espor City was a giant in the dirt world at the time. He's the established king.
So beating him signaled a changing of the guard.
Absolutely. That was Tarumae's first G1 class win, and once he broke that seal, he just didn't stop.
The sources list 4 major titles that year: Taiyosho, JBC Classic, Tokyo Daishoten, Kashiwa Kinen. He went from that horse who got third to the undisputed king of dirt in 12 months.
It's so rare to see a horse just clean sweep the calendar like that.
Yeah.
But we have to talk about the one race he didn't win that year.
Oh, yeah.
Because paradoxically, it gave us maybe the most memorable visual of his entire career.
The Japan Cup dirt that year, the Miyuki dance, I watched the replay based on the notes and I could not believe what I was seeing.
It is something else.
So to set the scene, Tarumae is surging, he hits the lead, and his jockey, Hideaki Miyuki, is trying to urge him home. But he's not just using the whip.
No, he was trying very hard. You have to remember, Tarumae didn't have that electric turn of foot.
Right, no instant acceleration.
No, he was a grinder. You had to physically push him to keep that momentum going.
And the American journalists covering the race were just losing their minds. I think the quote was, he was dancing harder than Michael Jackson.
That's it. He was pumping his arms. His whole body was rocking back and forth. It was this wildly exaggerated, almost cartoonish motion.
It looked like he was trying to row the horse like a boat.
It's a moment that lives in infamy. Japanese fans immediately called it the Miyuki dance. And it's funny, but it also shows the partnership. Miyuki wasn't just a passenger. He was working overtime up there.
And the worst part, after all that dancing, he faded to third.
All that effort for a bronze medal. It's iconic, but for all the wrong reasons. It shows winning wasn't elegant. It was a desperate struggle for both of them.
Speaking of struggle, you can't have a great story without a great rival. And just as Tarumae hits his peak, along comes Copano Rickey.
This is one of the great rivalries in Japanese racing. Copano Rickey was a year younger, and stylistically, he was almost the complete opposite of Tarumae.
The stats show them with a 5-5 split in their head-to-head wins. That is a perfectly balanced rivalry.
It really was. And the race script was almost always the same, which made it so compelling. Copano Rickey was a pure frontrunner.
Catch me if you can.
Exactly. He had blazing natural speed. He'd just shoot to the front and dare everyone to keep up.
And Tarumae was the stalker.
The relentless stalker.
Right.
He didn't have that explosive speed, but he had this crushing stamina. He would sit just behind Rickey, wait for that speed to start fading, and then just try to wear him down physically.
It's like a classic boxing matchup. The speedy technician versus the brawler who just keeps coming forward.
A perfect analogy. And Rickey had these higher peaks, but much lower valleys. He might win by 5 lengths one day, then completely flop the next. Tarumae. He was always there.
Always in the mix.
Even on his bad days.
But that consistency was put to the test in 2014. This feels like the dark night of the soul part of his story. He goes to Dubai for the World Cup.
The biggest stage in the world.
And finishes a disappointing 16th. And then he gets sick.
Stress-induced enteritis. And we need to pause on that because it sounds mild, but for a racehorse, this is life-threatening.
Really?
It's a severe inflammation of the intestine. It's often caused by the stress of travel and exertion. It can lead to all sorts of terrible things.
So this wasn't just, oh, he needs a rest. This was, will he ever race again?
It knocked him out for over half a year. And the narrative at the time was pretty much, well, that's it. He had his run. He traveled. He got sick. He's done.
But this is where the Relentless King moniker really earns its keep. He comes back.
And he doesn't just come back for some easy warm-up race. He comes back and he immediately wins the Champions Cup. Then he wins the Tokyo Daishoten right after that.
It was a massive statement.
He basically looked at all the doubters and said, I'm not going anywhere. In fact, from 2014 to 2016, he won the Kawasaki Kinen 3 consecutive times.
It's amazing. But it is interesting you bring up Dubai. He tried 3 times to win the World Cup and never could. Why couldn't he crack that code?
It's the eternal question for Japanese dirt horses. The surface in Japan is basically sand. It's deep, loose. It requires power. The dirt in Dubai is much tighter, faster.
So it's like a tennis player who's great on clay trying to win on grass.
Exactly that. Plus, the travel is just brutal on them. It was the one thing that eluded him. But his domestic record, it's just astonishing.
What are the numbers?
39 career starts. He ran in 28 domestic dirt gullet races. Do you know how many times he finished outside the betting money in those races?
Let me check the notes. 4 times total.
In graded stakes, the hardest races. He never finished outside the board. Never.
He was always in the top 5 every single time. That's insane.
It's a statistical miracle. In racing, you have traffic trouble, bad starts, a horse just has an off day. For him to never miss the board in those races, it's almost robotic reliability.
And that reliability translates directly to the bank account. We touched on it, but the number is 1.1 billion yen.
To put that into perspective, he was 3rd in earnings for his entire generation, the only 2 ahead of him. Gentle Donna and Goldship.
Both turf legends winning races with purses twice the size of what he was running for.
Exactly. For a dirt horse to even be in that conversation is a testament to sheer volume. He ran more, and he won more.
And he even beat his rival, Copano Rickey, on the all-time earnings list for non-turf horses.
He did. Rickey eventually broke his record for G1 wins. Tarumae retired with 10, Rickey got 11, but Tarumae has set the benchmark first. He raised the ceiling for what was possible.
He also seems to have been more beloved by his local community, which I love. This detail is great. He was appointed the Tomakomai Tourism Ambassador.
It's fantastic, isn't it? A racehorse is a tourism ambassador. But it makes sense. His owner was that local construction magnate. Tarumae represented the spirit of that region.
Hard work, resilience.
Getting the job done. He even had an official cheer song composed for him while he was still racing.
You don't get a theme song unless people really love you.
It's true. And I think that love comes from the fact that he wasn't a blue blood. He was the working man's horse. He just showed up, punched the clock, and ran his heart out.
He retired in 2016 at age 7, which is a good long career. What's the next chapter?
He's at stud now. His first foals started racing in 2020. They're already having some success on the regional circuits, which kind of fits his profile.
And that makes sense.
The dream now, of course, is that one of his kids might go back to Dubai and finally win that World Cup that he couldn't quite grab.
That would be the perfect ending, wouldn't it? The son finishing what the father started.
It would be poetic.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more.